Hi everyone, so this is me going through the 2003 workings for incomplete records type B question. You had to do this question the other day, so I'll just go through the workings with you now to give you a hand with your corrections. So the start of the question says J. O'Higgins lodged €350 to a business bank account on the 1st of the 1st 2002 and on the same day purchased a business for €320,000. So he paid €320,000 for a business. We need to check and see if he paid more than the purchase than the value, than the net worth of the business. So you need to check and see if there's any goodwill there. So you start off by finding your assets. Okay, so the assets are buildings of 290,000. You have stock of 16,700, 3 months rates prepaid of 2,400, and debtors of 32,500. So that brings our total assets to €341,600. And our liabilities, we have wages due of 3,600 and trade creditors of €58,000. So you take your liabilities away from your assets to find what your net worth of the business is. So the business was worth €280,000 when he bought it, but he spent 320,000 on it. So if it was only worth 280 and he spent 320, that means he paid €40,000 more than what it was actually worth, and that figure is known as goodwill. So that's GW is goodwill, and it's an intangible fixed asset. Okay, so that goes into your balance sheet. The next working I did was rates. So the reason I did that one first is because I saw it up the top of the question and said, oh, there's going to be a work in there. So at the top of the question it says we had 3 months rates prepaid of €2,400. That's that figure there. Then rates came up again in the bank section. So it says rates for 12 months was 10,800, and that means if they've 3 months prepaid at the start and they've paid for another 12 months, that's 15 months rates. So of this 12 months that they paid, 3 months of that is actually for next year. So 10,800 is for 12 months. You want to find 3 months, so 10,800 multiplied by 3 over 12 will give you €2,700. So that €2,700 is paid in advance for next year. So that is actually going to be a current asset. I don't know why I didn't label that current asset in the balance sheet. So the 2,700 is a good thing. We've paid that in advance. So that's a current asset in the balance sheet. And the charge for the year then for your profit and loss account is 10,500. The next working that I did was your wages and general expenses. So at the start of the year we had wages due of €3,600. So if we have wages due at the start of the year, that means that was for work that was carried out last year, so it shouldn't be included in this year's figure. That's why I'm taking it away. Then in the bank section we have wages and general expenses €98,000, and it says at the bottom up there in the same bank section, the bank payments, it says college fees of €4,500. So we should be seeing alarm bells there when we see college fees. It then says in the next bullet point, so bullet point 4 on the question, it says O'Higgins further estimates that 70% of college fees should be attributed to a family member and the remainder to the employee. So if the business is paying for college fees of a family member, that's called drawings. But if it's for an employee, then it should be included in the wages and general expenses. So our college fees in this question are €4,500, and 70% of that, of the college fees, should be attributed to a family member. So get 70% of that, which is a €3,150. So €3,150 is for drawings, and the other 1,350 is for an employee. And the employee figure is getting added in here. Okay, so it's going in with the rest of the wages and general expenses. So that 1,350 for college fees for an employee is a general expense. So that's why that is going in there. I'll come back to this €3,150 when I'm doing the drawings working. So that leaves it at €95,750 for my charge for the year, and that's my expense in the profit and loss account. The next working is my loan interest and my loan repayment. So it says in the question, second bullet point, on the 1st of the 10th, 2002, 10th 2002, 10th 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 10th part of which was used to purchase a building. Okay, and then it says, sorry, the questions have to go in there. It was agreed that O'Higgins would pay interest on the last day of the month at a rate of 6% per annum. So the first thing I did was, let's calculate how much interest he has to pay for the amount of time he had the loan. He got the loan on the 1st of October, so he had it for October, November and December. That's 3 months. So €300,000 was the loan. He has to pay 6% per year, but he only had it for 3 months. So if he only had the loan for 3 months, he's only going to pay 3 months interest. He's not paying the full year's interest. So 300,000 by 6% by 3 over 12, which is €4,500. Always check and see, does he have any interest paid already? So we're looking at the third bullet point in the question. It says interest paid of €3,000. So he paid €3,000. The charge for the year is €4,500. But that's the amount that he has to pay. 3,000 he's already paid, which means he's still due to pay €1,500. It then says on bullet point 4 that 25%, O'Higgins estimated that 25% of the interest payable should be attributed to the private section of the premises. So this is the interest payable, your €4,500. 25% of that should be attributed to the private section of the premises. So the total amount payable is 4,500. Your drawings is 25%. So 25% of 4,500 gives you 1,125. So that's going to be your drawings. I have an asterisk there. I'll come back to that when I'm doing my drawings working. So the total amount minus the bit that's going to drawings, which leaves the charge for the year being €3,375. And that's my charge for the year in the expenses in the profit and loss account. Okay, always check and see how the business are going to pay back the loan. So sometimes you have that they pay it in one lump sum, sometimes that they pay it in installments. So you need to check and see what way they're paying it back and do your work and depending on what way they're paying it back. Okay, so in this question it says the capital sum was to be repaid in one lump sum in the year 2010. So he has to pay it back in 2010. And to provide for this, the bank was instructed to transfer €2,500 on the last day of every month from O'Higgins' business account into an investment fund. So I'm just going to, you can see that there. So the loan repayment is €300,000. Okay, so that has to go in as your long-term liability. We're doing the accounts for 2002. They have to pay that back in 2010. So that's a long-term liability. They're paying that 300,000 back. So when you're doing your finance buy section, you're going to have creditors, amounts falling due after 1 year, and you're going to have a loan of €300,000 sitting in there. He set up an investment fund to help pay it off. So I'm doing my investment fund calculation here. He has decided to transfer €2,500 on the last day of every month. So he got the loan on the 1st of October, which means that at the end of October, the 31st of October, he started transferring money out of his bank account. So 2,500 came out in October, 2,500 in November, and 2,500 in December. So 2,500 multiplied by 3 months from October to December, which means that he has transferred €7,500 out of his bank account. Then check and see, did he get any interest? Does it say anything anywhere in the question about getting interest on his investment fund? Remember I told you this is kind of like a savings account. So at the bottom of the question it says, in the assets and liabilities of the firm of 2002, and then the very last thing was €75 interest earned by investment fund to date. So that's why I'm adding the 75 in there. So 75 plus your 7,500 leaves our investment fund sitting at €7,575, and that's your financial fixed asset. The €75 goes in as income in the profit and loss account. Alright. Next, I've kind of squashed this in here, so I'll talk you through this. It says, bullet point 4, O'Higgins estimates that 25% of the following, and it just says equipment, right, should be attributed to the private section of the premises. So 25% of the equipment should be attributed to the private section of the business. When you see private section of the business, you should know that that's drawings. So check and see what the story was with equipment. Did we have any equipment at the start of the year? No, we only had buildings. So that means we must have bought some at some point in the year. And the place to find that is in your bank payment section. So we bought equipment of €16,000, okay? And it says that 25%, we're told 25% is for drawings. So €16,000 by 25%, which means the €4,000 is going to go to drawings. So when I'm doing my drawings working, I'm going to come back to that €4,000, okay? So if I bought equipment worth 16,000, but 4,000 of it went to the private dwelling, that must mean that €12,000 of it is still a fixed asset in the balance sheet. So from this working, you're going to bring the 4,000 to your drawings working, and you've just realised there that of the 16 grand of equipment that you've bought, 4,000 was for drawings, which leaves 12,000 in the business, and that's the fixed asset in your balance sheet. Okay, I hope you could see that. I never actually moved it up. Next working I did was light and heat. There's a few things going on in the light and heat in this question, so let's have a look for the stuff. It says the first time you come across it is in the bank. The business bank account made the following payments: light and heat of 7,200. Then it says that in bullet point 4 then that 25% of the light and heat used should be attributed to the private section of the business. So the first thing I need to do is find out how much we did actually use, and then take some out for the drawings. And then always check the bottom of the question: is there any electricity due? Is there any stock of oil? And in this question we have electricity due of €560. So I started off doing my working by finding out how much electricity I used this year. So we have a bank figure of 7,200, and at the end of the year we had electricity due of €560. So I used this electricity at some point in the year, but I just haven't paid it yet. Remember I told you that usually with electricity bills they come like 2 months later. So 7,200 plus your €560, that means we used €7,760 in electricity, light and heat this year. There's no stock of oil to worry about in this question. So of the €7,760 used, 25% of it is going to drawings. So 75% is actually for the private section of the business. So 7,760 by 25%, which means that the drawings figure is €1,940. I'm taking that from the amount used, which leaves my charge for the year as €5,820. Okay. And that's that working. So I'm labelling the electricity due. That's not good for me. I still owe that. So that's a current liability in the balance sheet. And my charge for the year then is the expense in the profit and loss account. The drawings then is, I'm going through the questions. So all of these, the 4 bottom ones there, they're what I went through in the workings already. So the college fees of 3,150, interest of 1,125, light and heat of 1,940, and equipment of €4,000. Then these two are the first bullet point where it says that the owner took €100 in purchases or in stock from the business each week. So 100 by 52 weeks would give you €5,200, and cash of €150 was taken each week as well. So 150 by 52, which gives me €7,800. Okay. So I added all of these up, and that means my drawings figure is €23,215. Okay. I'm going to now do the bottom. So the top part of the balance sheet then, as far as the first balance, is the same as a typical balance sheet that you'd be used to doing. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to video myself doing the bottom part, where I will figure out what the net profit is, and then I'll do the profit and loss account as well. Okay, so I actually decided I'm going to go ahead and do the whole balance sheet with you. So bear with me because I'm trying to use my phone for the question and I'm using the iPad to record, so I don't know how this is going to go. So the tangible fixed assets are, we have buildings, and there was no depreciation in this question, so we don't need to worry about that. And we have equipment. So my buildings, I had a building at the start of the year worth 290,000, plus when we got the loan we spent 250,000 on a new premises, so that means my buildings are now worth €540,000. And we had equipment then of 12,000. Remember we had the drawings figure, but we bought equipment worth 16, but 4 grand of it went to drawings, so it left with €12,000. So my tangible fixed assets are left at €552,000. Okay, next is my intangible fixed assets and tangible fixed assets, and in there is going your goodwill figure. Goodwill, and the goodwill figure is €40,000, and that was the very first thing that we calculated. Next is my financial fixed assets. Financial fixed assets, and my investment fund is going in here. So investments. So remember to put in the figure that includes the interest that we got. So the €7,575. Okay. So add all my fixed assets up. So my 552, my 40, and my 7575, which leaves me with a total of 599,575. Okay. Next, as always, is my current assets. So I'm just going to write current. So amounts of that will things that will turn into cash within the next year. The first thing is stock. I'm stepping this in a line as well, even though I don't have columns, imaginary columns. So €17,200. Can you even see this? Oh, whoa, that was close. So €17,200. Then we have debtors at the end of the year. So I'm getting all this information from the bottom. So debtors of 34,300. We had bank. So it gives us our bank in these type B questions. It gives us our bank figure. In the type A, we have to calculate the bank ourselves. So 68,462. And then check your workings. See, did we label anything else as a current asset? And we did. We had rates prepaid. And the rates prepaid figure is €2,700. Okay, so my current assets add up to 100. I'm leaving this here. 122,662. Okay, next section is less creditors, amounts due within 1 year. So our current assets is amounts money that's going to be coming in within 1 year. And our current liabilities or our creditors amounts due within 1 year are things that we have to pay within the next financial year. Okay, so the first thing that's going in there is our creditors. I'm stepping this in another imaginary column. So creditors of 29,900. Then we have our interest due that's coming from the workings. Interest due on the loan of €1,500. And then we have electricity due, also from the workings. Electricity due of €560. Okay, add the three of those up, that's it. And that should give us a figure of €31,960. So we have 122 coming in, but we have 31 going out. So linking back with your question 5, we are a liquid company. We have enough money to cover our debts as they fall due. So our working capital figure is the amount that we have left over, 90,000. So my iPad just ran out of memory halfway through the video and I didn't notice and I continued, so now I'm just going to have to talk through the rest of it. So this is where I was when it stopped recording. So I had electricity due of 560, that had my tree, current liabilities brought up to 31,960. So we had 122 coming in and 31,960 going out of the business within the next year. So it left me with a working capital of €90,702. You don't need to label that working capital, you're not going to get any marks for that. So I then added my total net fixed assets to my working capital, which left me with a total net assets of €690,277. And that is the balance that I'm going to use to try and help me find out my net profit figure. That's the first half of the balance sheet, or the first down as far as the first balance. I did it. I moved on to the next page because I wouldn't have enough room. I only have like 2 or 3 lines left here, so I'll have all this done because I didn't realise it wasn't working. So this is the finance buy section. So we're after finding out that our business was worth €690,000, 277. So we need to find out where the business gets their money from. So how the business is financed. The first thing that we always have in the finance buy section is your creditors' amounts falling due after 1 year. So what do you need to pay back in the long term? You have a loan. So we have in this question we have a loan of €300,000, and that has to be paid back in one lump sum. In 2010, I think it was. So we still owe that full €300,000. Then we have our capital. So we had our balance at the start of the year. So in some of these questions, it might say that the owner put €200,000 into the bank account and on the same day purchased a business worth €200,000. So your capital at the start would be your 200,000. In other questions, it might say the business or the owner put €200,000 into the bank account and on the same day purchased a business worth €150,000. So you'd still have to put the €200,000 into your balance sheet. It's the amount that the amount of money the owner put into the business, okay? So it's the full amount, not just the amount that he paid for the business. So the balance on the 1st of the 1st in this question is €350,000. That's how much he put into the business bank account. Then we added capital throughout the year of €2,500. So in this question, we have €2,500. Generally, you'd see this in the form of a grant of some form. You might have, in one of the questions, there was inheritance as well. And the other one is a grant. I can't remember what the third one is. I'll try and remember. So it's €350,000 plus your 2,500, which leaves us with a capital of €352,500. And take your drawings away from that figure then, which is €23,215, which leaves us with €329,885. I'm actually going to rub this part out and I'll do it with you now. So this is how we estimate our net profit figure. We're saying that we have a loan of 300,000 plus we have our capital and drawings, leaves with a plus figure of 329,285. So these two plus whatever the net profit is should add up to the balance that we got. So I got that figure from back here, my 690,277, and that has gone in there. So 690,277. So 300,000 worth of a loan plus this plus something else should give us that. So to find out our net profit figure, it's going to be the 690,277 minus 300 minus 329,285, which leaves us with a net profit figure of €60,992. Okay, I'm going to do the profit and loss account now. So I'll show you. We'll start off with this. We'll start at the end. This being our net profit figure. We'll fill in as much of the profit and loss as we can, and then we'll work backwards to find our sales figure. Okay, so bear with me. Okay, ready to get going on the trading profit and loss account. Just before I do that, I remembered what the other capital introduced is. So it's dividends. So the ones that you usually see are dividends, a grant of some form, and then there is inheritance as well. So if there's any kind of form of lodgements into the business that you're unsure of, like that, it probably is just put it in as capital introduced. Okay, so we're doing the profit and loss account. So the way we do this is it's the same layout as what you've been using for question 1. You start filling in the information. Whatever we don't have, we'll leave it blank. Okay, so we've got sales in this question. Well, we don't have that yet. Less cost of sales. We have opening stock plus purchases, just like normal. Less closing stock. Okay, so let's try and figure out what we could put in. We had our open stock figure at the start of the year, which is €16,700. So this is my middle column, 16,700. That is coming from the top of the question. Purchases, I don't know, but I do know my stock figure at the end of the year, which is 17,200. Okay, that will give me a number of some form that goes in here. It's my cost of sales, and then this will be my gross profit. Okay, so open stock plus purchase minus closing stock gives you your cost of sales. Take that from your sales figure and that will give you your gross profit. Okay, in this question, next thing I'm going to do is add on my income. In this question, I have investment income of €75. And income of €75. Put that over there straight away. Okay, and I'll just push this up and I'll put a line there so that I can get another total here. Then I'm saying less expenses. My expenses in this question are my wages and general expenses. Coming from the workings of 95,750. Then I have light and heat. Also coming from the workings of €5,820. Then I have rates. The charge for the year on rates is 10,500. And I have my interest. Interest can just go in as a standard expense. You don't need to keep it separate. Interest of 3,375. And you're adding that all up. Usually you take your expenses away. My total expenses are €115,445. Okay, so I have sales less cost of sales gives me my gross profit. I add on my income, I'll get a new figure. From that, I'll take my expenses and that will give me my net profit. Okay, we figured out up here that the net profit figure is €60,992. So I'm putting that in there, 60,992. And that is my net profit figure. Okay, so it says in this question, we have to work backwards. So we've got 60,992. From that we took 115. So we had a figure, minus that will give us this. So if I'm trying to find this, it's going to be 6992 plus that. Okay, so plus these two. So add that back in and it'll give me my figure here, which is 176,437. This is usually added in, so it's some number plus that will give me that. So if I'm trying to figure out what the figure was before I added the 75 in, I need to take the 75 away, which leaves my gross profit figure at 176,362. And just bear with me a second till I find out what it tells me about the gross profit. So it should always tell you something about the gross profit in the question. It says in this question, the gross profit was 40% of sales. So that means that this figure here represents 40% of the sales. Okay, so if this is 40%, the next place I'm going to go to is get my sales figure. Wait till I go back now. Oh God, sorry. Just trying to use my phone. Hopefully my videos will get a bit more professional as I go along. Right, so I think I'm ready. So if this represents 40%, if my gross profit is 40% of the sales figure, I need to find out what the sales figure is next. So I'm now here, right? So I'm trying to get my sales figure. So 176,362 divided by 40 multiplied by 100 will give me my sales figure of €440,905. So again, we've got our sales less cost of sales gives me my gross profit. So if I'm trying to find out what my cost of sales figure is, it's going to be 440. The 440 minus my gross profit. Okay, so 440 minus 176362, which will give me a cost of sales figure of 264,543. Okay, and now I am trying to find my purchases figure. So my purchases figure, if I'm going opening stock plus something minus that will give me that figure. I'm going to go work backwards with my 264,543, add that on, take it away, and I'll give it my purchases figure. So plus 17,200 minus my 16,700, which is 265,043. 265,043. Okay, and remember, we're getting a mark or two for showing the drawings. Okay, so in the question it says that we took purchases of €100 per week. I think it's €100 per week. So if that is our figure after the purchases have been after the drawings have been taken, we need to find out what it was. So something minus the 5,200 we took gives us this. So I'm trying to find out what my purchases were before we took the stuff for our own use. So I'm adding back in 5,200, working backwards again, which means that the purchases figure, the amount that we actually bought, was 270,243. All right, and that is that question done. Okay, wait, I just put a double line here. That's that question done. So you're working backwards. I started off here. This is the first figure I got. So this is my first one. Then I got this one. Okay. From there I went up to here. Then I came back down and got my cost of sales. Then I got this one. And this is my sixth one. Alright. And that's how it works. So you have to work backwards, fill in what you have, and try and find your sales figure. So you're starting at the bottom and working your way up.